Until this life force, this spirit soul exists, this spirit soul is there in this body, it's difficult to stay calm. It's very impractical. Sometimes people want to do artificial renunciation. Oh, yesterday I read Bhagavad Gita. This life is no use. Let me go to forest and renounce. So this is called midhyachara, artificial renunciation, pretending. Without detachment to this material desires, if you renounce, maybe artificially you may wear saffron, or you may shave your head, or you may do some kind of renunciation action, but in the mind there is an attachment for the sense gratification. That kind of renunciation is not recommended. That is also called markata vairagya. So people will think monkey is in the forest, so it is living very simple life. But markata vairagya, that monkey is always full of crazy desires in her mind, even though it is sitting in the forest. So similarly, if a person, he renounces artificially, and if he go, he will not able to control his mind, and he will do all bad activities. That's why we are seeing so many news in the current world. False sannyasis, false the pretenders are more, and instead of propagating bhakti, they are misusing their sannyasa dress, and they are trying to cheat the people. So that is midhyachara. So that is condemned. So Srila Prabhupada is mentioning in the purport, a false pretender who is living by cheating the people in the name of devotion, he is lower than a person who is sweeping on the road, sweeper. Why? Because sweeper is working hard for his livelihood. He is not cheating anyone. But this midhyachara, he is trying to cheat others. He is lower than the sweeper. So we have to be very, very careful. And also, Prabhupada is explaining that a dutiful householder with detachment is better than attached sannyasi. So the whole bhakti process is detach from this material engagements, and engage in Krishna consciousness more and more. But attached sannyasi means there is no meaning for it. So sannyasi means he should be completely detached. There is one wonderful real-time pastime happened in the Ramanujacharya period. One day, Ramanujacharya, after completing his morning activities, he went to ashrama. And two disciples are fighting each other. Ramanujacharya called and asked, "What's going on? Why are you fighting each other?" They are complaining each other. This person is stolen my copin. This person is stolen my copin, like that. Copin, a piece of cloth, linen cloth. For that, they are fighting. This is my copin. This is my copin. This is mine. This is mine. They are so much attached to that copin. Then Ramanujacharya, he want to give a lesson to them. He called one disciple and asked it for go to one grahastha disciple and steal some jewelry from their place. So this disciple removed all his brahmachari clothes, and he went in a karmi clothes. Somehow or other he entered into that grahastha's house, and Grahastha wife is sleeping, and she observed that this Ramanujacharya's disciple came to their home. She knows that she's a very nice person, nothing to worry. And after she acted like a sleeping, and he was trying to take away the jewelry on her body. So he removed some jewelry on one side, and she's cooperatively turned to the other side, and she's allowing him to take all the jewelry. She was thinking like that. Maybe my spiritual master needs some money. That's why he sent. Let engage this jewelry in the service of my spiritual master. Then after he got all the jewelry from their home, and he brought those two disciples, the brahmachari or sannyasi disciples. See that? The grahastha doesn't have any attachment, and you are all having an attachment. So the detachment is required, whether you are living a householder life or a sannyasa life. That's why Prabhupada used to tell all his grahastha disciples as like a grahastha sannyasis. Even though they are living a householder life, they are detached. They are completely engaged in Krishna consciousness. So we should not artificially renounce our duty. Nowadays, if people are having more problems, they want to take sannyasa so that they can get rid of all these family problems. But that is not a recommended approach. You need to do your prescribed duty. And that duty must be offered to Krishna. If you do not offer your results to Krishna, you will be attached to the bondage. Ajnanartha karmannonyatra lokoyam karma bandhanaha tadartham karma kaunteya mukta sanga samachara. Work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed. Otherwise, work causes bondage in this material world. This is very, very important. There are two types of works. One is if you do not offer your anything, anything you got, like anything you prepared or anything you purchased, just you are using simply for your sense gratification, the karma bondage will be there because you are utilizing for your satisfaction. But if you offer it to Krishna, the karma bondage will be removed. What is the problem of karma bondage? If you have karma bondage, if you have karma bandhana, again you need to come and take birth again and again in this material world. So whatever the work, whatever the things that you are doing, that must be offered to Krishna. Otherwise, there will be karma bondage. And whatever you are eating, suppose you are cooking something. While cooking some food, lot of small living entities will die. Like while you are carrying the water, or while you are lighting the fire, or while cutting the your grocery items, lot of living entities will die. But if you eat without offering to them, offering to the Krishna, you are responsible for all the killing or all the things happened during the process of preparing food, even though it is vegetarian food. Small bacteria are killed. But whereas if you offer the same food to Krishna and you take it, the karma bandhana will be removed. Why? If you offer to Krishna, you are working for Krishna so that you will be free from the bondage. You are working for the satisfaction of Krishna. So you need to do your activity, your duty, but you need to offer the result to Krishna. So in this karma process, just I want to take you more in detail. What is the levels of this yoga ladder? We have, this is a yoga ladder. Like if you beginning with animalistic life and then karma kanda. Karma kanda means you are working, you are offering or you are doing some demigod worship for some material benefit. And sakama karma, you are doing for something, your material enjoyment. Again, the karma yoga is divided into three parts: karma kanda, karma yoga, and sakama karma yoga and nishkama karma yoga. Karma kanda is not considered as a karma yoga, but it is a misconception of karma yoga. After that, gnana yoga. Gnana yoga means understanding the knowledge and understanding about the Supreme Lord, accumulating the knowledge about the Supreme Lord. But there is no practical. Ashtanga yoga means performing yoga in the connection of to get the mystic powers. And the topmost is bhakti yoga. So here in this first 6 slokas, Krishna is encouraging perform your duty, but do not attach to the results. That is Nishkama Karma Yoga. He is encouraging to do Nishkama Karma Yoga. And further, Krishna is explaining, people may confuse or people may misunderstood what is Karma Kanda and what is Karma Yoga. The Karma Kanda means demigod worship. If I do, I'll get something. Like if you worship Lord Surya Bhagavan, you will get good health. Or if you worship Mother Uma, you will get a beautiful wife. Like that, if you worship Chandra, you will be pleased, your mind will be calm. Like that, different demigods worship is mentioned in the Vedas for different material benefits. If you are doing something by expecting some result, that is called karma kanda, demigod worship. But without expecting any result, just you are offering your results to Krishna, that is called karma yoga. So what happens if you do not offer anything, your food or your clothes or any household items or anything, if you do not offer to Krishna and you are using yourself, that is just sin only. In 3.13, Krishna is telling that you are eating very in sin only. So that we should offer Krishna, then it will become karma yoga. Karma means work. Yoga means linking with the Supreme Lord. If you do not link with the Supreme Lord, that is like karma kanda. In Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a wonderful sloka. Taktva swadharmam charanambujam harer bhajanna pakvo tapate tato yadi yatrakva budram vabhudamushyakim kovarta apto bhajatam swadharmataha. So Krishna is telling that your swadharma is charanamujam hare, to worship or to get hold of the Lord's Hari's lotus feet. In that path, you may fall down. Bhajanna pakvo. In the immature state, you may fall down. With that, there is no danger. You will get up and you will continue your path of bhakti. But on the other hand, if you are not performing any devotional service, just you are doing your materialistic activities, there is no gain. There is no gain. A person working, making millions and millions of dollars, and he is not engaged in any devotional activities, that is zero. Mrityu saravaharascha. At the time of death, everything will become zero. He cannot carry anything. But if a person is doing some devotional activities, it will carry forward. He will, one day he will become perfect. So, the sacrifice is must. We need to do whatever we are working. We need to offer to Krishna. That is called sacrifice. Sacrifice means, yajna means offering to Vishnu, not to anybody else. Yajna means offering to the Vishnu, for the satisfaction of Vishnu. Whatever you do, that is called yajna. Not only yajna means not only putting the fire and offering some grains and ghee to the fire. No. Whatever you are doing for the satisfaction of Krishna, cooking food and offering to Krishna, or singing and glorifying for the satisfaction of Krishna, anything you do for the satisfaction of Vishnu and Krishna is called yajna. So everything in this material world is produced by Krishna. So we should offer to them. Otherwise, we are considered to be thieves. So if you take the main ingredient, grains, grains are generated by the crops. Crops are growing just because of the rains. Rains are coming just for the sacrifice. If you do not do sacrifice, that area will become desert. That's why if there are any droughts, it's recommended to perform some yajna, some kirtan yajna, or some sacrifice. It is practical. One time in Telangana, Hyderabad, there was a drought. For 5-6 years, there was no rains. At that time, I think Kasu Brahmananda Reddy was the minister. He came to know about Srila Prabhupada. He wrote a letter to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada, my state is completely droughted. We need your advice. How can we get the rains? Then Srila Prabhupada replied, you need to perform yajna. So if you are okay, I will send my devotees. They will perform some kirtana yajna and rains will come. Then that minister arranged all the facilities to travel to that place. All our Krishna conscious devotees went and doing roaring kirtan. And everybody is doubtful whether this Sankirtana will work or not. They were doing kirtan, and they were looking in the sky, whether rain will come or not. Finally, by end of the day, full rain came. So that minister is satisfied. I think he gave some land in Hyderabad. The Beats temple land is given by that same minister. So this Sankirtan is so powerful. Without sacrifice, no rains. If no rains, no grains. So sacrifice is must. We need to perform for the satisfaction of Vishnu, not for our sense gratification. So how do you work? Whatever you do, whatever the activities you perform, the same thing will be followed by your subordinates. Yad yad acharati sreshta. In the society, whoever is in topmost position, they should be role models, like leaders, teachers, parents, should work as an example to all the subordinates. If the higher level people itself is not following proper duties and proper regulations, and if they are behaving like a sinful person, then all other followers also will follow the same thing. Like if you take Janaka Maharaj, he showed exemplary behavior. Lord Ramachandra, when he appeared, he showed a very exemplary behavior. Even Krishna also. Lord Rama and Krishna, no need to follow their duty or their activities. They no need to do anything, just their Supreme Personality of Godhead. They don't have any prescribed duty. But when they came in this material world, they performed all the duties, all the activities as an exemplary way. Like Krishna accepted a spiritual master, Sandefa Muni as a spiritual master. Do you really required Krishna required to accept a spiritual master? No. Why he accepted? To show an example. So all the activities, whatever is performed, should be a role model. In this section, Srila Prabhupada is explaining that there are two types of people. One is self-realized person, and one is the ignorant person. The self-realized person will not attach to the results, and he will always be a good example to the society. Whereas ignorant person, he doesn't know, he is so much attached all these materialistic things. In the current generation, in the current Kali Yuga, you will see majority of the people, ignorant people. They don't know. They are attached all their properties, all their things, and they are ready to do any abominable activities to accumulate more properties and more things. But a self-realized person, he's detached. He's not worrying much about that. So we need to be a role model, and our activities and our duties and our work should be an example to all other society. Yeah. So, and we should surrender all our work to Krishna so that we will be free from bondage. And the last section, 36 to 43, this is a very wonderful one. Arjuna is asking, you are telling very nice things. One should not attach to the results, or one should not perform any sinful activities. One should offer everything to Krishna, or one should do all good things. They should not do any bad things. So Arjuna is asking, what is one impelled to sinful activities unwillingly by force? So Srila Prabhupada is explaining in the purports. This force is nothing but lust. When the living entity in the contact of this material world, it will be influenced with the mode of passion. The love, actually, Jiverehe Swarupa Krishna Nityadasa. The living entity's duty is serving to the Lord, or having the loving relationship to the Lord. We are all part and parcel of Krishna. So we are all spirit souls. So the living entity should have a loving propensity towards Krishna. But with the material contamination, this loving propensity will be deteriorated as lust. With that lust, if that lust is not satisfied, that will become wrath, anger. So the lust is the influence of passion. The anger, wrath is the influence of ignorance. With those two things, the living entity will be suffering so much and stuck here in this material world and taking birth again and again in this material world. So the lust is nothing but a perverted reflection of love. We're supposed to be attached to the Krishna with love, but the living entity is attached to the material world with the contamination of the material propensities. So Prabhupada gave a wonderful analogy here. Milk with the touch of tamarind, the milk will become curd. Similarly, love with the touch of this material nature will become as lust. Lust is categorized into three categories: smoke covered by fire, dust covered by mirror, womb covered by embryo. So 3 degrees of covering here. Number one, human beings. Human beings compared, like I say, smoke is like a lust and fire is a living entity. There is a scope. If somebody gave some fanning, that smoke will go off and fire will be extinguished. So he has a higher scope. He can easily come out of these lusty desires and he can go back to Godhead. The mirror with the dust, the consciousness of birds and beasts, it is compared. They have, even though little inclination, but scope is less. Embryo covered by the womb. This is helpless situation. He cannot come out of that. The baby is suffering so much. The womb, in the pack of water, baby is suffering. Please save me, Krishna. Please take me out. Take me out. But he's in helpless condition. This is compared as trees. Trees are also a helpless condition. Just they has to pass away few lives, then only they can get an opportunity to come to a human life. So these are all lust various categories. And among all these lust, the sex desire is the topmost. That's why this material world is called as shackles of sex life, Maiduna Gara. So if whoever is not unable to conquer this sex desire, they has to come back and suffer again and again in this material world. The lust, where is the lust? I want to conquer this lust. So for that, I want to know where it is sitting and what is the remedy to overcome this lust. Krishna is explaining lust sitting places are senses, mind, intelligence. So we have to be careful. These 3 places are lust sitting places. As a devotee or as a self-controlled, self-realized person, he will curb these lusty desires in the beginning stage itself. All our senses are nothing but holes, like mouth, nostrils and ears. All this body is compared as Navarandre Dware Pure. This body is 9 gate city. So if you observe, This human being body has 9 holes. Of course, all these nine gates should be guarded with the security guards. So whenever, before you accepting anything, you need to think for a second. Is it a Krishna conscious activity or sense gratification activity? If it is sense gratification activity, you need to reject it. If it is Krishna conscious activity, you need to make it allow into the body. Whatever you see, whatever you eat, whatever you smell, whatever your senses are engaged, you will be like that. So you need to be safeguard all these 9 gates. These 9 gates should be guarded properly. Otherwise, thieves enter into the body, thieves enter into the city, and it will be spoiled. So senses should be controlled properly. And these senses should be engaged in the Krishna consciousness. Rishikesha Rishikena Sevanam Bhaktiratva. In Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Rupa Goswami explaining that all these senses are given by the Lord. If you engage these senses, tat paratvena nirmalam. If you engage all these senses in the Krishna service, this will be purified and all the lusty desires will go off. This mind is a hub of all thoughts. Senses will send the signals and minds will compose the thoughts. Like mind is like a blueprint. The thoughts are like a blueprint. Before you construct a home, you will have a house plan. Okay, this bedroom has to go here, this kitchen has to go here, this. As per the plan, house will come. Eventually, if you have the plan, your house will come over the years of time. Similarly, our thoughts are like our action plans. Our thoughts has to be purified. Our mind has to be purified. Sometimes, okay, let it be that thought, anyway, I'm not doing. No, that thought will sprout when the opportunity comes. So we should not have any sense gratificationary thoughts. So if you have those thoughts, it will manifest one day. So before, in the thought process itself, it has to be purified. Identity, thoughts, and actions. The thoughts has to be purified. So by chanting, by hearing, by reading, Buddhi Yoga, Jnana Yoga, by reading and hearing, thoughts will be controlled. Thoughts will be purified. Jnana and Vijnana. So the easiest process to control this lust is engage the senses in the Lord service, engage the mind in the holy names, and engage the intelligence by understanding the scriptures and surrendering everything in Krishna so that we can easily overcome this lust. So, in summary, Arjuna asked, which one is the better, karma or tyaga? Krishna explained from 3rd sloka to 9th sloka, do nishkama karma yoga. And further, Krishna explained 10 to 16, karma kanda is lower than the karma yoga. So perform karma yoga and sacrifice. And from 17 to 35, Krishna explained one should perform their duty, their activities as a role model to others. And from 37 to 43, Krishna is explained how to overcome this lust. So with this, I would like to give some space for question answers. We have 3 more minutes. Any questions, comments?
Thank you very much, Gopikanth, for Krishna Prabhu. Yeah.
So
What
no
is connected and unmute? Ask. Good.
no questions means everything is understood or nothing went inside. Yes, Amartan Prabhu, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, please accept humble obeisance all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Shishul Prabhupada.
Thank you, Prabhu. Excellent class. My question is on Nishkam Karma Yoga. So Nishkam is basically we are not materially motivated. So we are just doing it because it is a duty. How is this different from bhakti, wherein we engage in acts of devotional service, not for any gain for ourselves, but because that's who I am, Jivera Swarupoy.
So, what is the difference between a servant is serving our wife or some relative is serving you? What is the difference? Both are duty only. The difference is there is no love, there is no attachment. He is doing it for the name of sake of the duty. But there is no affection, there is no bhava and prema. If you add that bhava and prema, then it will become bhakti yoga. It's a initial stage of bhakti yoga, but the bhava and prema will not be there in the Nishkama Karma Yoga.
Perfect. Thank you, Prabhu. Good
Okay.
answer.
Yeah. So thank you very much for any other questions, or shall we go to the next chapter 4?
Yeah, let's go to the next.
Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarabhyasya kripa sindhabhyo pattanam bhavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo.
Rest on the Vijay.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Mataji, just a minute. I'll log off and log in.
Yes, you can go ahead, Mataji.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisesha Sunyavati Paschatya Satarini Sri Chaitanya Manubhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yatapadakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavanscha Sri Rupam Sakrajatam Sakana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sakana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostite Tapta Kanjana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukham Karoti Vachalam Pangulangayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Mishwaram Hari Om Tat Sat. Okay, welcome. A wonderful evening sessions. These sessions will be very, very helpful for advanced devotees, for recapping, for the beginner devotees to have an overview of whole Bhagavad Gita in short phase. It's like short-term coaching. Okay, just now we completed the 3rd chapter by His Grace Gopikanth Krishnadas Prabhuji. I would like to give a little refreshment. It is not little, but it's a nice refreshment for all of you. For traveling from one chapter to the another chapter, Lord Jagannath with broadened eyes and hands stretched, welcoming all of us into his heart. Okay, let's move on to our today's chapter, 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Issues. Sorry about that. Okay, chapter 4 is the transcendental knowledge. In the slokas, we know that Indriyani paranyahur indriyabhya param manaha manasastu para buddhi yo buddhi parastasaha means Indriyani paranyahu indriyabhya param manaha. So these senses, what are working senses, over them, though we will think that they are all in all, so superior to these senses is the mind, and superior to this mind is the buddhi, manasastu para buddhi. And next, yo buddhi paratastu saha. Actually, we'll think that soul is the subordinate of all these mind, senses, everything. But in fact, soul is superior even than the senses, even than the mind, even than the intelligence. But due to this material contamination, soul is thinking that I am the servant, I am the controller of the mind and senses, because it is thinking that it is forgetting its transcendental nature to these modes and mind, all these. So because of that, it is from time immemorial, it is being conditioned like that. So, and in the later verse, evam buddha para bhutva, so samstabhyatma atmana, when we give the proper training to this intelligence, then it will start thinking in a perfect way. It can take mind and senses into the control. How can we understand this is, suppose a very crude example. You are owning a company, and You are hiring a manager. You are thinking that he is so efficient, but unfortunately, of course, if you don't want to, some XYZ person, he is hiring a manager. But the manager is not strict. He's not aware. And on top of it, he's not responsible of his duty. Then whoever is working under that manager, either lead or employees under that lead, whoever it is, they will take advantage of that irresponsibility of the manager, right? That's very common. And what will happen? The tech lead will not guide the employees properly, and the employees will show the wrong results, and finally everyone will be into trouble. Recently, we came across in a very big wireless company, very famous. It happened. Usually, the target of any company is the profits. So they were so much pressurized, and manager is not following the proper rules and regulations due to the pressures from the upper end. So they showed the fake accounts. This happened in the account department. So when the employees and tech lead are showing that wrong accounts to the manager, and when he submitted, it went for more than 1 year with that wrong accounts, assuming that the company is in the profit of so many millions of dollars. And later, it brought into notice, and everyone got fired up. Everyone is punished. So what the company has done is, it educated everyone, not only accounts department, all the departments. So when it is becoming familiar, when they have been given the knowledge, everyone is cautious now. So that is what in third chapter, at the end of third chapter, Sri Krishna is stating to Arjuna. See, Arjuna, you are thinking, you are worrying of the enemies outside. That is the transcendental knowledge. He wants to say, see, there are so many enemies within you itself. Okay. Let me explain you how can you conquer. That is called chapter 4, transcendental knowledge. Here, I have a small question, if anyone can answer. We know that Bhakti Yoga is the topmost. And we know that 6th to 12th chapters of Bhagavad Gita are related to the Bhakti Yoga, because it is telling about the confidential knowledge of the devotional service. Then why Krishna told all this? Why he began from Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, then Ashtanga Yoga? Then he said that Bhaktosi me priya cheti. So I like this. That person is very dear to me. So why he is going later on? Why he did not start beginning with the Bhakti Yoga, when that itself is enough? If anyone can answer, I can wait for a few seconds. Okay, no problem. So here, there are two paths to reach the Supreme Lord. One is the steps, taking the steps. The other path is the elevator to reach the higher levels. Suppose 20th floor or 30th floor. In the same way, to reach the Supreme Lord also, there are two paths. One is the gradual process. So from Karma Kanda to Karma Yoga to Jnana Yoga to Ashtanga Yoga. So if you want, you can, according to the desire, Bhakti can be sprouted by the pure devotees of the Lord, Supreme Lord. Then we can start our Bhakti Yoga also, and then we can reach finally the Supreme Lord. So these are the different processes. So here, this Jnana Yoga, transcendental knowledge, this is different from the Rupa Goswami, as he said, Anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karmadi anavritam anukulyena krishnanushilanam bhaktiruttama. There he said that jnana karma adi anavritam anyabhilashita shunyam. So you should not have any materialistic desires, even including karma or jnana related. So that jnana, what Rupa Goswami is saying to be nullified, that is different from this transcendental knowledge. So this transcendental knowledge is bhakti, like bhakti anukulyena jnana. This knowledge, transcendental knowledge, is purely related and conducive to our bhakti, to our spiritual path. So that's why it is called as transcendental knowledge, not just knowledge. Okay, then we will go. We saw just now, we saw this, right? How each verse it is. Okay, coming to this, everyone have these, in the third chapter, Krishna ended with lust. So that is the biggest enemy that we have to take in care. So every one of us has some bad habits or something, even though we know that it is not good to do, but we will do that. So we are controlled by sometimes by such bad habits. So at those times, how will be your feeling? Suppose somebody wants to get up early. Okay. Suppose somebody wants to get up early in the morning for Mangala Arati time. Suppose someone wants to do attentive chanting, or someone wants to do chanting in the early hours of the day. So, or someone wants to read Bhagavad Gita every day or some Shastra every day. So sometimes we will give the less priority or some other habits. We don't want to eat other than nothing, anything else other than prasadam, but we have to eat due to some temptations. So these are all some uncontrollable habits. So when they are overtaking us, how do we feel? So sometimes we'll feel guilty. Sometimes we will be irritated with our own losing the control on ourselves. So like this, and these will be the cause later on for our lamentations. So Arjuna is subject to one such kind of lamentation. Krishna is saying that. Why? Because see, you are thinking, you have lust in your heart, Arjuna. So first you focus on that. You can conquer the outside enemies later on. First, let's focus on inside enemies. Why? Because if you cannot conquer enemies within ourselves, we cannot defeat the outside enemies. One time, a central minister, environment minister, she approached His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj. So Radhanath Maharaj, she was so duty oriented. So she rushed towards Maharaj and asking, you are all great Swamijis. Why don't you influence the public for a clean and green environment? Why don't you give the awareness for about the environment protection? Then Maharaj listened to her, so much of her anxiety, her way of rendering her message, everything. He was patiently, he was listening. And then he said, see, how much ever you clean, or you are asking them to clean this whole planet for hundreds of thousands of times, again it will become dirty. Why? Because the cleaning should be started from inside. When they are cleared of these habits like lust, greed, then automatically the external cleanliness will happen. So this is very apt. First, we have to clean ourselves within ourselves. We should overcome our bad habits and enemies like lust, anger, greed, all this. So that's what Krishna is intended to tell Arjuna. And in the third chapter, and it is said that Srila Prabhupada said that by controlling this lust or controlling the senses by artificial means like yoga postures or so-called silent meditation, it doesn't work. It doesn't work externally when we are trying to do something. there will not be any transformation. Only that their buildings will develop from one state to another state, but there will not be transformation. Maybe in that temporary moment, they will be illusion that they got some relief, some power or something. But in fact, there will not be any real transformation. So we should be, and this fourth chapter importance is, if any person, even a materialistic person, suppose you take some executive head of the government or any ministers, if they read this particular chapter, Jnana Yoga or Karma Yoga or Jnana Yoga, they will have the awareness, how can they protect the citizens from these enemies easily. See, nowadays, even Black Lives Matter, even there's so much of conflicts between various nations or various people, various countries, anything, everything because of these enemies. When we are giving the awareness and knowledge just about this, we can protect the people. We can really establish the peace, even if we give the knowledge also. Forget about application. Even if we give awareness also, there will be a lot of transformation. That is the potency of this chapter, Jnana Yoga. Okay. Then coming to this, in this chapter, we'll be covering 4 topics. What is this knowledge? How is it received? And how it is leading to Nishkama Karma Yoga? And how is this knowledge born? We'll cover these 4 topics. And first one, imam vivashvate yogan proktamanavamapyayam vivashvan manave praha manurikshva kave bravit. So first, Vivashvan, sun god, is the first disciple of Sri Krishna. And then it went on to Manu. And then to Ikshvaku. And then to now, because it was broken, because it has happened, the knowledge, the first disciple to which Lord Krishna has presented this knowledge, because it happened millions of years ago, or a period of time, it is broken. So my dear Arjuna, I am re-explaining this to you. So what is the intention of Krishna saying this history? Means he wants to know Arjuna that, my dear Arjuna, this is not the first time, and this is not on-fly knowledge that I am giving to you. This is the oldest knowledge I have already given to many great kings who are born millions of years ago than you, before than you. So to them also I said. So because of that, he wants to establish the history of Bhagavad Gita. So some may claim that, some may bring some scripture, so-called scripture, it is oldest than your Bhagavad Gita, they may say. So he wants to prove the history, how oldest the scripture is. He wants to establish that one. And also that many people are unfortunately thinking that this history, Mahabharata, Ramayana or Bhagavad Gita, everything is the mythology. So he wants to refute that. So he wants to give that shastric evidence. This is not the mythology. To establish these two, Krishna started explaining from the beginning how it is originated. Of course, this Bhagavad Gita is the eternal. Only from materialistic perspective, we are seeing the calculations. But this knowledge is the eternal knowledge. And next one, this knowledge is coming in the disciplic succession. So Krishna is saying that, again, it is urgent for me only, and many great sages have accepted this. So that's how the knowledge to be taken. Not like any kind of knowledge you can accept. No. You should take the knowledge that is coming in the bona fide disciplic succession. Then only it is the perfect knowledge. So without any here the intention of Krishna to explain Arjuna about the Guru Parampara disciplic succession is you should also accept as it is, and you should also deliver as it is. So he wants to say that one. However, those people, those great sages accepted it in the disciplic succession. It was otherwise it happened once, it is lost. When the knowledge is not passed on as it is, it will be appears to be lost. That's why I have given you. So I'm giving you this knowledge. So Arjuna is so happy, but Krishna is saying that. Why? Because Arjuna is properly qualified. Bhaktosime sakha cheti rahasyam hetam uttamam. This pure knowledge I am giving to you because you have both the qualifications. You are sakha, very dear friend to me, and also bhakta, you are very devotee to me. So these qualifications are very much essential to receive the knowledge, or else in a challenging aspect or non-surrendering process, if we try to learn something, we cannot get it in a perfect way. So next, aparam bhavato janma param janma nivartite. So Krishna is Arjuna is asking, how come you gave to sun god? He is you are almost my age. You are my, see, you are like my age. How can I believe that you have given this to the sun god Vivashvana? So it is a general question from the materialistic point of view. But Arjuna is not a materialistic person. He is a devotee. Just now, Krishna himself confirmed that you are my devotee and also you are my friend. So that's why I'm keeping. So then why he is asking such a mundane question? Why Krishna? Why? How can I believe that you have given? Then we can understand from this verse, see how much Krishna is dear to Arjuna. He is so much affectionate to Krishna. How? Because he likes Krishna so much. He knows that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He cannot tolerate anyone misunderstanding Krishna. If you see, before Kurukshetra war, Krishna went to convince as a messenger to Duryodhana. And he showed the partial universal form also. But he was not convinced. So he's thinking in a mundane way that Krishna is an ordinary person. To convince all such kind of atheistic, demonic people, Arjuna is asking question for the benefit of ordinary people who doesn't know that Krishna supremacy, for the atheistic people, to convince the atheistic people who cannot accept, even though they know, they don't want to accept, who cannot accept, to that kind of people, he wants to establish the Krishna supremacy. He wants to convey them that Krishna is not an ordinary person. Just like, see, if suppose our friend is some Joe Biden or some great materially, some great personality is there and he is our friend. And your mother or father are thinking he is as an ordinary person. How you will explain? So greatly, amazingly you will explain, right? Or you ask them to explain what and all you do as a prime minister, like that I'll ask them to explain, right? If from their mouth, if they explain, it will be more accurate, it will be more detailed. So in that way, even though Arjuna knows, he wants Krishna to explain from his own lotus lips, lotus mouth, so that they will be properly understood. So how nice, how beautiful Arjuna's view while asking this question. But it's not due to ignorance, as some common person thinks. And the next one is, then Krishna started explaining, my dear Arjuna, many words you and I have gone through, but I know everything. I know past, present, and future. Here, Lord Krishna is explaining all the differences between Lord and the Jiva, how he can remember everything, whereas as an ordinary Jiva, how Arjuna cannot understand. And he is Advaita. There is no difference between the body and the self, whereas a material, like a Jiva, is a difference between the body and the soul. That's why again and again, when he is taking repeated words, he will forget the previous life. So these are all the limitations of the Jiva. Whereas Krishna is explaining that I am above all these limitations and there is no differences. Not only he is like a Vaidurya stone, even though in various incarnations also, there is no difference. All the like Vaidurya stone, even the stone is one, but upon the reflection, it will exhibit multiple colors, right? So sometimes Lord will come as in white color, sometimes in red color, sometimes in blue color, sometimes in green color, like that, like a Vaidurya stone. Stone is same. In the same way, Krishna is like that Vaidurya stone. According to his desire, his own transcendental desire, he'll come in various incarnations. And also he said that I am Ajopisan Avyayatma. So it is, though I am unborn, eternal, I can appear in my just original body itself. And here Krishna, he is directly appearing in his own Shyamachandra form with two hands. So Yuvasan may ask, in the 6th verse, Ajopisan Apyayatma, Bhutanama Ishwaropisan. So in that, Atma Mayaya is very, very important. Mayavadi people will say that Krishna has come out of the Maya, that effulgence. But Atma Maya means we should know that from Vishwakosha dictionary also, it is clearly mentioned that Lord will appear with his own causeless mercy upon all of us, and he will come with his internal energy as per his desire. He was not forced by, or nothing else is the cause. He is the cause of all causes. We should understand that. And that spirituality is not blind faith. If necessary, questions should be asked to the Guru. That's why Arjuna is asking so many questions. Throughout the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna is asking. Even when we have questions, we need to ask and clarify. Otherwise, it may lead to misconceptions. So, Arjuna wants to have lot of clarity. And why you are Arjuna is asking again, why are you appearing and disappearing? You are eternal only. Why are you coming, going? Why are you doing like this? What do you want to do? What do you want to convey? So then he said that yada yada hidatmasya. So whenever there is a decline in religious practices and a predominant of irreligion, rise of irreligion. So that means when people are forgetting their duties, see, indirectly he's conveying to Arjuna also. He doesn't want to his duty. All that problem is that one only, right? From the first chapter, he doesn't want to fight. So indirectly, slowly he's coming. See the soft nature of Krishna. He doesn't come to the point directly. So first he said about the knowledge, how it is greatness. This whole chapter is establishing faith for Arjuna. And he wants to remove the lamentation. He wants to remove all the doubts of Arjuna. So nice. Softly is coming to the religious practices, how important to follow these religious practices and why to follow, how to follow. He's slowly coming to the topic. So whenever there is an irreligion, rise of irreligion, I'll appear there. Arjuna, he is saying that, Krishna. So, and then what do you do? What are your purposes? Then, what are those? Paritranaya sadhuna, vinashaya chatushkruta, dharma samsthapanataya, sambhavami yuge yuge. So, if he wants to kill the miscreants alone, he can do just by glance. Eye glance. He doesn't. One tsunami is enough, or one corona is enough to wipe off thousands of souls. But especially his prime motive is to deliver the pious. So otherwise, these are all the byproducts. Automatically, he can re-establish the dharma, and automatically annihilation of miscreants will happen. First one is he wants to give pleasure. In that way, he will derive pleasure through his devotees. So that is his most favorite part. And he will come in various incarnations. So if you see the chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, there are all these types of avatars: Satyavesha, Purusha, Guna, Leela avatars, Manvantara avatars, Yuga avatars, Satyavesha avatars. I'm not explaining. See here, Yuga avatars, Yada Yada Hi Dharmasya Glanir Bhavati Bharata. So he was telling that these Leela avatars and Yuga avatars. So these avatars, Krishna is mentioning every Yuga after Yuga, I'll appear in my virginal form or in my incarnation form. So according to Srimad Bhagavatam, there are 24 incarnations prominently they were mentioned. So if you want, you can go and revise this. But whatever are these appearances and disappearance, they are very transcendental. Janma karma cha me divyam. They are very uncommon and also transcendental. And so, if anyone can understand that, there will not be any birth and death. How can you understand this? So even at the sadhaka level, when we are trying to understand, they will be benefited by understanding that these that means Krishna is coming by his own internal energy, not from effulgence, not from so those Mayavadis or impersonalists. They say that Krishna is coming out of a Jyoti. After his purpose is solved, he will go and merge in the Jyoti. That is the mundane understanding. That is totally forbidden. So the transcendental activities of Krishna and his appearance are, he will come by himself with his own desire through his internal energy. That is the proper understanding. And he is not an ordinary person. Though he appears with in Shyamachandra form, he is an eternal soul. At the time of Kurukshetra, he was just looking like a 24, 25-year-old young person at the age of almost 125 years. But still he is looking some very young and Navayavana. And when whoever understand these activities and birth of Krishna, they can win over all the demons. So in the, and Krishna said that in 10th verse, many people before also, they have practiced this. They understood in that way. Because of that, they could achieve the perfection. So even material, all these explained to Arjuna is to increase the faith for Arjuna. And for also materially attached people who ever feeling difficult to understand, to make them easily understand, Krishna is explaining. So they can, whoever understand that, they can conquer lust, fear, and anger very easily. They can overcome. And also, even I will not go more deep. They will get the freedom. They will get the liberation. Then coming to the 11th verse, whoever wants to follow this path, there are different stages. However they approach me, I will award them accordingly. Okay. Ye yathama prapadyante tam tadhaiva vachamyaham. Manavattva anuvattante manushyana patha. So whoever, suppose a materially attached person wants to see the Krishna's universal form, okay, let you think that that is the ultimate. If anyone is aiming to merge in the Brahma Jyoti, okay, fine, you go, I will award you. And whoever wants see Paramatma and think that as the ultimate, okay, fine. And also any materialistic people also, if they are doing sacrifices for more results, more for material profit or travel to the heavenly planets. So for them also, Krishna will award. And see, there are so many paths: karma path, jnana path, yoga path. So Krishna will award them accordingly. But bhakti path is the direct one. These are all different routes, but they can also approach Krishna. There is nothing wrong when you are approaching only Krishna. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said that akama sarva kamo va moksha kama budarati tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. So anything for purpose of jnana or karma or yoga, if you want mystic powers, if you want super knowledge, everything, just approach Krishna. No need to go for any other person. So in achieving success, our attitude is very, very important. It should not like, I like Krishna, but I also go to demigod temples. It's okay, right? I can see Krishna in the demigod. This is what general thinking of the common persons nowadays. So it's like cheating. If you go to some person and tell to your wife, see, I have seen you in that girl. That's why I gave a costly jewelry. What she will do? She will give a big slap. So that is not the proper way. That's why in 9th chapter, Krishna said it is avidhi purvakam, 9.23 Bhagavad Gita. So that is not the correct approach. And Krishna said that only people with materialistic desires, they will approach that. Kama esastir hirtaknana prapadyante anya devata. So they will approach to satisfy their sense gratification, that materialistic desires, they'll approach the demigods. So this is not required. Just approach any desire, akama, sarvakama, mokshakama. Any desire you have, approach me, approach Purusha Param, that Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. That is, he will solve accordingly. So then, to understand all these, I have given, I have created for Varnashrama system. So that's what in Chaturvarnyam Maya system, I have divided the society into 4 divisions: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. So according to the guna and mentality. So even though I created, so why Krishna is saying that he created the society into 4 parts means to execute the duties, to tell about the duties. So I told, no, Krishna slowly he is bringing the concept of Kshatriya duty to Arjuna. So indirectly, instead of touching only Kshatriya like Arjuna duty, he is telling slowly, this is the Brahmana duty are these, Kshatriya duty is this, Vaishya duty is this, Shudra duty is this. So they have to do their duties, then they can achieve the perfection. So even though I am dividing all the society, but I am not subjected to any rules. How? Because a king is passing some rules and regulations in his kingdom, but he is not bound up that rules, right? Those are meant for the citizens to follow. In the same way, this Varnashrama system is meant for the human society, not for Krishna. He doesn't need to bound up with those. And he's not obliged with any fruits of action. So if you do this duty, see the 15th, learn this art of work and do your duty accordingly. Like many in the past, you will also conquer the inner battle and ever be victorious. So Krishna is saying that, see, my dear Arjuna, like in the past also many people followed this path, they did their duties. Like Vivashwan, he said, right? And in the 3rd chapter, also, Yadhyadya Acharati Shrestha. So they were all following the path and they were victorious, and you also follow that path and you also do your duty and be victorious. You can conquer the enemy. Then what is the duty? What is not the duty? What is the real duty? So these are all the karma, vikarma, and akarma. We know that, right? Karma means according to the religious principles, when we do any activities, that is karma, that will lead to the good result. That means you will go to upper planets. Vikarma means against the religious principles. If suppose you should not hurt the animals, still you are hurting, that is a sinful activity, vikarma, and it will lead to the bad results. Okay, fine. Why it is both are causing the bondage? Because by performing good result, you will go to Swarga, and if by performing bad result, you will go to Naraka. But you will be in the jail only, like this material world only. But this is like A-class jail, A-class prison, that is some D-class prison. There will be little better facilities in A-class jail, A-class prison, but there will not be liberation. Whereas when you do akarma for the pleasure of God, that will lead to the mukti. So what is that akarma? Anything for the pleasure of Krishna. Kim karma, kima karmeti. So the intricacies of karma are very difficult to understand. We will think that, okay, I am understanding, I should perform akarma. I should not do any karma or vikarma. So knowledge is different. Application is little bit, difficult. Application of distinguishing and performing is little bit difficult. That's what Krishna is saying that. So it is, we have to, this one is little bit very confusing. Please listen attentively. Karmanya karmaya pacheda karmani cha karmayaha. In this 18th verse, Krishna is saying that see inaction in action and see action in inaction. It is confusing. I will explain clearly. What is better also? So for example, if monk is there, I'm not telling that he's a Krishna conscious monk. He is a for survival in the life, he is choosing this monk role. He is doing, superficially, he's looking like a monk, but he is having that sense gratifying desires. he's used this external appearance to fulfill his stomach. So that is karma in akarma. That means he has that karma desires, even though he is appeared like a performing the akarma activity. Okay. Next one. See this person. He seems to be very materialistic, but he is doing the transcendental service. That means he's looking like a so-called going to the job person, earning and having a family, but still he is utilizing his time, energy, his senses for the pleasure of Krishna. This is akarma in karma. So Krishna, what he wants to say, which is better, when Arjuna asked, so obviously akarma in karma is recommended. So like that, you also perform. Krishna doesn't want Arjuna to retire from his duty. Rather, he wants him perform akarma in karma. Means while performing his Kshatriya dharma, he can, when he does it with knowledge and for Krishna with the transcendental knowledge, get rid of all the following these attitude, that will cause pleasure to Krishna. That is the akarma or nishkama karma. Okay. Then these are all various sacrifices that are mentioned from 24th to 29th verses. But all these various sacrifices are meant for one purpose. That is the pleasure of Krishna. So when we are doing such a nishkama karma dutifully, that will lead to the spiritual knowledge. Then you will understand why you are doing, why I am asking you to do. Then you will understand the real purpose and you can. So, okay, Krishna is telling with knowledge to perform the duty. How we can perform? Krishna is saying that there is a direct method, because there are different approaches. We can go and read the library, this Bhagavad Gita. We can go and research through all the Vedas. There are various approaches. What is the best approach to learn this transcendental knowledge? This one, by approaching a spiritual master with obedience and gratitude and service, actually. Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena seva. Pranipata pariprashna seva. We have to humbly approach the spiritual master, serve him and ask submissive inquiries. So, I have accepted you. Then how can I understand? Sorry, give me just 2-3 minutes. How can I understand that I am receiving this knowledge? So, yagnatpana punarmoham. So, see, when this is a self-reconciling question. Okay, how much I understood Bhagavad Gita? How much I am progressing in Krishna consciousness? Am I devotee? Am I okay in the spiritual path? These kind of questions we also will have. Even Arjuna is asking, how can I know that I am receiving this knowledge in a proper way, whether I have accepted this knowledge or not? See, you should have these two qualifications, pure spiritual vision and never illusion again. That means you should have clarity after reading Bhagavad Gita. Before how we are, now how you are. There should be progress in Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, we have to read the Bhagavad Gita again. So we should reconcile ourselves. Then this Bhagavad Gita, this spiritual knowledge is compared with the boat that will save us from sinking. And like a fire, it is a purifying fruit. It is essence, that tasty knowledge, sword. It will cut all our doubts and fears, everything. And finally, Krishna is saying that, my dear Arjuna, so understand this Nishkama Karma Yoga, stand and fight, do your Kshatriya duty. So like that, I can conclude here. So from 1st to 10 verses, Krishna is giving transcendental knowledge about Krishna. So how he has appeared, how this Bhagavad Gita has appeared. And then from 11 to 15, applying transcendental knowledge. So how Nishkama Karma Yoga we can apply. So like karma, vikarma. Then understanding karma on the platform of jnana. So how by various means of performing our sacrifices, you can choose any path, like mind control, like Swadhyaya Yajna, or any fire yajna, or any karma kanda. But we have to perform those karmas as a sacrifice. For the sacrifice means for the pleasure of Krishna, for the sake of Krishna, not for our sense gratification. We should get rid of all those 5 subjects I said, no? Mind, we should be self-satisfied, we should free from the material desires. So on the platform of Jnana, we have to understand that karma. Then that will lead to the transcendental knowledge, and we can be on the proper platform, what Krishna is expecting us to do, as he is expecting from Arjuna. Hare Krishna, if there are any questions, please. I am very sorry. Could you see the slides or not?
No, it didn't move much. I think it moved 2-3 slides after that. It didn't move.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You'd have told me, Prabhuji. Okay.
And I think there was a message, but it's okay, Mataji. You covered the. Thank you very much for both of you for nicely covering chapter 3 and 4. In the interest of time, maybe we can have 1 or 2 minutes. Anyone has questions, you can raise or unmute and ask.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Very wonderful class. Wonderful, it describes everything about Niskam Karma. Dandavat Pranam to everyone. And so I have a question here. Question is about the Niskam Karma. So say is a situation here from before Krishna consciousness, we don't know about the Krishna consciousness. We don't know about the Niskam Karma. We have the fruitive karma. After that, taking initiation also, we have that tendency, little bit, slowly, we are progressing. But say, before your death, before your death, you become Niskam. So what happened? Whatever you did your fruitive work, what will be there? There will be any reaction for that or not?
Okay, wonderful question, Prabhuji. So you have 2 questions here. First of all, after taking the initiation with the guidance of the bona fide spiritual master, your sadhana bhakti is started. At the time of initiation, whatever the results from the previous birth or within this birth, any resultant reactions are taken away by Krishna. It's like Krishna through Guru. So it is like a clean slate. Initiation means you are initiating your spiritual journey. So you don't need to worry about that. And the previous life, suppose if anyone is not taking initiation or starting under a bona fide spiritual master, yes, there will be effect of this karma yoga, jnana yoga. When you are doing for the pleasure of Krishna, Krishna will take care. So, but if you are doing Ajnana Shukriti, if there is anything like that, that will be also come into as a bhakti account. That means you will get not like directly in the form of bhakti, you will get 4 types of lives. You can get a beautiful body. That means which will help. You will have a rich person, you will be in a Brahmana family. All these 4 categories will help you to progress towards the bhakti path. In that way, those results will come into your account, into this life.
Yes, sorry, Mataji, sorry for interruption. I understood your point. Very beautifully explained about that. My question is that after initiation, we are in the process. We are not giving up everything, right? After initiation, we are getting some. We are still there is a fruitive action, some certain extent. So before death, say suppose before death we become the Niskam Karmi. So what happened in those karmas?
So after initiation, your next life will be upon your desires. But your visa is there, Prabhuji. That means suppose you want to travel into another country. In taking initiation means visa is there. So whenever you desire to get the ticket, then you can travel to that country. So this desire is like a ticket. Visa is confirmed. You will go, you can have the eligibility to go back to Godhead someday. because you are taking initiation. So how sincerely you are following is depending on that travel time. Immediately you will go, or if you have still desire because of that not developing that love and devotion. See, suppose Nishkama Karma Yoga means you are not having that strong desire to serve the Lord, right? You are doing as a duty because your spiritual master is telling to do, or as a matter of duty you are doing. So Krishna will wait until it develops. See, it is little bit vast topic. If you want to go to Vaikuntha planet, even Karma Mishra Bhakta, Jnana Mishra Bhakta can go to Vaikuntha planet. But if you want to go to Golaka, only Kevala Bhakta can go with Kevala Bhakti. That means there should not be tinge of this Jnana, Karma, Nishkama Karma, any type. Kevala Bhakti. Bhakti should be there. That means Bhakti means love and devotion, that spontaneity in serving the Lord should be there. Then they will be eligible to go to the Goloka.
Okay, got it, Mataji. Wonderfully explained. Thank you, Mataji. Dandavat pranam to everyone. Dandavat.
Thank you, everyone. I think we're over time, so sorry for that. We'll conclude at this point. If you have further questions, you can reach out or post it in Nityam Bhagavad Sevaya. I'll send it to one of us. Thank you. Vanchakalpatarupesya
कृपया पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः।
Vaishnavanduki Jai.
जय।
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Speakers and
everybody.
everyone.
Haribol.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Mr. Prabhupada.
Jai.
Jai.